Hi, welcome to this week's edition of Screenland, and it's a bit of a special one, let's say. So, briefly, what's out in cinemas this week? Not a whole fucking lot. There's two films. One is Eleanor the Great, which is Scarlett Johansson's directorial debut. Stars June Squibb. It's lovely. Would I be rushing out to the cinema to see it? Probably not, let's be honest about it. It's lovely. It's a very sweet film. It's good. I can't really say any more than that, to be totally blunt. No offense to Scarlett Johansson or June Squibb for that matter, but there's not enough there to talk about. I do want to talk about Ella McCay though, and then we'll get to the big stuff. Ella McCay, right? Okay, so directed by James L. Brooks, previously did As Good as It Gets, Spanglish, and more pertinently, Broadcast News, which I have only recently rewatched, and it's fresh in my mind. I watched Ella McCay, and then I came out of it and was like, "Oi!" And then I watched Broadcast News, and it was like, okay, so this is the line. There is a through line between the two of them. So, what's going on in Ella McCay? Emma Mackey plays this lieutenant governor in an unnamed state that looks very like Rhode Island, but isn't Rhode Island. Her boss, the governor, is played by Al Brooks. He gets a job in the incoming Obama administration. He's going to be the Secretary of the Interior. She is then going to have to step up into being governor. But she has a couple of problems along the way. One of them is her husband, played by Jack Lowden, aka Mr. Saoirse Ronan, is a bit of a douchebag and is very kind of, how would you say, chatty and gregarious and very kind of superficially charming and stuff. And she is worried about a potential mini scandal in the scheme of things that she used what was it, like kind of government housing to meet up with her husband to have a nooner every so often, and she's worried that constitutes kind of misuse of government property for personal use. Yeah. It's set in 2008, okay? And it's so pointed, it's 2008-ness, that I was kind of like, all right, did you write this in 2008 and then just shove it into a drawer and you're only pulling it out now? Is that what's going on here? Is this like you could only get this made now or something? Or was it you were working on it since 2008 and you were like, okay, fuck this, I'm not updating the political landscape to include, the Tea Party and Trump and all that kind of jazz. What I found about this was essentially that it was just so naive. It was well-meaning and naive. And Emma Mackey, right, I think is a great actor. And she can really grapple with big stuff. But this, I mean, again, if this film was made in the 90s or the 80s, when it probably should have been made, I could easily see Holly Hunter in that. It feels like he had Holly Hunter in his head and was like, well, she's aged out of this. So I'm going to get someone younger, like Emma Mackey, starring in a film, Ella McCay. I mean, what the fuck? That's just blah. And like, I'm always going on about that there aren't enough kind of adult films. And I mean, films made for grown-ups that treat topics with the complexity and nuance that they require, but can still be entertaining, like an entertainment for grown-ups. Now do you know what I mean? And I wanted this to be so much better than it was, because it's enjoyably, old school. There is not a lot of there is not a lot of that around. And it's just a fucking mess. Basically, it's just a fucking mess. Now, is it terrible? No, it's just not great either. And, you know, and like there's a great cast, like Woody Harrelson, Jamie Lee Curtis, however you feel about her, Kumail Nanjiani, Julie Kavner, you know, Marge is in there. Like I say, Al Brooks, who, you know, he's very funny. Like he even there's one little one-liners, there's one little quips. Like he's, you know, he's there. It's just, I mean, like you watch broadcast news and it's like, okay, that's how it's meant to look. That is what Ella McCay was striving to be, and this is a poor substitute. And like, you know, I mean, I think of like As Good as It Gets is up there with one of my all-time favorite films. I love that film. I watched it again recently, and because obviously clearly on a bit of a James L. Brooks vibe, and it's so good, and it's so funny, and Jack Nicholson is so charming in it, and you know, like he's so many, like he's such an asshole in it, but he's such a likable asshole, and it's very similar in my mind. I put it in the same kind of category of Gene Hackman in The Royal Tenenbaums, which is a likable asshole. And, you know, if you've known a likable asshole, if a parent has been a likable asshole, you know, lovable rogue, whatever you want to call it, it's very, you know, you see that, and it's difficult to do well. And James L. Brooks has done it very, very well. He did it in As Good as It Gets, and he was trying to do it here with Jack Lowden's character, I think, and Woody Harrelson's character as well, I think. But it just didn't connect. Yeah, and the fucking stupid challenge, the Ella McCay stupid, like the fucking social media challenge. My God, like, is this what we're reduced to? And then I saw like I saw on Instagram like they had the Simpsons, the fucking Simpsons, talking about it. As in they had Marge and Lisa coming out of a cinema, and it was just like how far we have fallen. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, bad. Well, not bad. Just, no, it was bad. Speaking of bad, here now, for your enjoyment, the worst movies of 2025. Okay, now, I want to start off with a couple of points. To begin with, I did not write out 10 because you're not paying for this, so you can fuck off. And secondly, you know, the requirement to get to 10 meant that I felt possibly unnecessarily cruel. But when I start to get into these ones, you will know where my vitriol went. And believe you me, folks, believe you me, every single one of these films, and I really do mean this, everyone involved should be ashamed of themselves. There is no redeeming any of these films. And again, I've talked about this before. A noble failure. Do you know what I mean? A film that is trying to be something and doesn't get there. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the fact that it is trying to get to a place, that it is trying to reach for greatness and fails. But I appreciate the effort. That is not the case in any of these things. Every single one of these films, if you haven't seen any of them, good. Don't go watching them. Don't do it. Don't do an all's fair on this, where you'll go watch these films out of some kind of morbid curiosity to see if the car crash is as bad as it is. Take my word for it, okay? Just fucking take me on this. Just, if you've, just please, just please don't watch any of these films, okay? I suffered through them, so you don't have to. Don't make my mistake, okay? Really don't make my mistake. Okay, let's get into it. Let's start off with, I think, a pretty obvious one. I think we all knew this was going to be shit, but the level of shitness was, honestly palpable. Captain America: Brave New World. Now, let's, if we can for a moment, put aside the fact that this film had IDF Mossad agent as a main character in the film. Okay? Let's leave that aside for the minute. The character was called Sabra. And, there was the Sabra massacre. There is the fact that the IDF is slaughtering innocent people in Palestine right this second. This might sound callous. I'm saying put that aside for a moment, okay? And just hear me on this. Even leaving out how fucking reprehensible it is to have a main character in your film as part of one of the most evil military organizations in the world, right? Leave that aside for the minute. This is still a fucking terrible film. This is absolute dog shit. It makes no sense. It's not entertaining or enjoyable in any kind of way. Harrison Ford looks embarrassed. I mean, he looks physically like the man is going to have a hernia. And he's not a young man anymore. He can't afford to be having hernias. He looks like he's going to have a hernia for the amount of cringing that he's doing in this film. And he's an elderly man, okay? And the roles are not exactly there for him anymore. And maybe he's just like, you know what? I just want the fucking money. I just want to take the money and go. And I appreciate that. I do not deny any man earning a crust. And I don't think it's as bad as when Robert De Niro was doing those television commercials for the fucking bagel company in the UK. It's not as bad as that. He's not trading necessarily on what made him great, but it's still embarrassing. I still feel embarrassed for him. And I mean, I get, maybe he's, I've talked to actors about this before, off the record, and no one goes into these things expecting to make a bad movie and wanting to make a bad movie. But of course, as they go through it, they know things are getting worse. They know things aren't going their way, and they can feel it. And then, of course, when it's on screen and everyone's ripping it to shreds, they then realize it. But I'm thinking for somebody if you're in the beginning part of your career or even the middle part, you think, okay, maybe, whatever. Harrison Ford has done enough movies and is enough of a player and is enough of a kind of a quantity that he should have known this was going to be shit. So he was probably thinking, okay, I'm fucking Harrison Ford here. I don't need to... The stink of this is not going to stick to me for too long. Fine. But why do you got to do that to my man Anthony Mackie? You know what I mean? I love that. I think he's I think he has been miscast on a lot of things. But when he's in stuff and he's good, he's great. I just wish that he would, get a better agent or something. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, speaking of Marvel, the next movie that I found to be one of the worst of the year is a Netflix movie. And I would put good money, and I'm not a gambling man, but I would put good money, that's right, I'm talking to you, listener, have not seen this movie. I would put good money that you have not seen this movie. Because this thing just up and vanished like a fart in the wind. Okay? It's called The Electric State. It's on Netflix. Chris Pratt was in it. Millie Bobby Brown was in it. I saw it. I watched it, okay? It's directed by the Russo brothers. I watched it. And if you were to put a gun to my head, and if you were to ask me to give you a synopsis of this film, or even recall one scene from this film, you would have to go ahead and pull the trigger and blow my brains out. Because fuck if I can remember any. I've talked about this before. I call it the memory hole, right? It's where you're watching, when you watch a film, okay, so I have to watch, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 movies a week. New ones, okay? I have to know enough about them, know enough about the actors, the characters, the stories, and all the rest of it, remember certain scenes. I don't take notes when I'm watching movies. I can't do it. So once I've, done Ireland AM, I've done The Last Word, or I've done Movies and Booze, or I've done The Brendan O'Connor Show, or I'm doing this. As soon as I've watched it, boom, goes into the memory hole. I have to just chuck it in the memory hole and forget it because there's more stuff coming in. And, the great ones are the ones that I'm still thinking about a day, a week, a month later, The Electric State is one of those films that, as I was watching it, I was actively consigning it to the memory hole. I was like, yeah, I'm never going to be, this is shit. This is fucking, just throw it in there. Yeah. It's literally, as I was watching it, it was getting pushed into a shredder and being turned into dust. I know it was something to do with robots, and Chris Pratt had this stupid fucking haircut that looked like MacGruber, and I think it was based on a comic book. I got nothing else. I literally have nothing else. I remember it being bad, though. I remember watching it. That's the only thing that has survived the memory hole of The Electric State. It was shit. I remember it being terrible. And I'm sure now if I was to boot up Netflix right now and watch it, in 5 minutes I'd be like, oh yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, awful. And turn it off. Awful. Just so bad. Let's move on. Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, okay. Jurassic World Dominion was so disinterested in dinosaurs and being a Jurassic World Park movie that I honestly kind of thought to myself, why even make this? You don't give a shit about the dinosaurs. What are you doing here? Jurassic World Rebirth, however, was an interesting choice. Or at least there was an interesting strategy going on, okay? So basically what they did was they said, okay, for 20 minutes of this movie, we're going to make it into Jaws, except with dinosaurs. And then for the next 20 minutes, we're going to make this into, like the opening salvo of Raiders of the Lost Ark. We're going to set it in a jungle, and they're trying to get a very small item out of this kind of temple-y kind of vibe. And, we're just going to little by little go through this and just keep it very, very straightforward. Keep it very much, we are going to literally copy and paste from all of these films. I mean, talk about a movie perfectly suited to be replicated by AI. In fact, I would nearly hazard a guess that this part of this film got fed into an AI and it shat out what this film was. It was, pure thievery on screen. That is a bold strategy in the year of our Lord 2025. Just blatant thievery. Brett Ratner was able to get away with that 20 years ago when he was making fucking Red Dragon and stuff. But, and X-Men: The Last Stand as well. To do that now, though, is like I may as well just get a fucking I may as well just get like Gemini or fucking ChatGPT or one of these other fucking AIs to make it. Who are you? Like, what is this? This is Gareth Edwards, by the way. Okay, Gareth Edwards, who did Monsters, who did Rogue One, who did fucking Godzilla, and this, he's making this, and it's written by David Koepp, who wrote the screenplay to one of my favourite films of the year. That's going to be on the next week's episode. Well, week after, actually, an episode. He wrote Black Bag. And, okay, Jurassic Park should have ended with Jurassic Park. I compared Jurassic Park to the Jaws franchise in that you have the seminal piece of work, the, generation-defining movie in Jaws, in Jurassic Park. And then everything that followed, even the sequels, even the copycats, none of them lived up to it. And now we are just in a case of diminishing returns. And it has become so vexing to... I mean, you go back and watch Jurassic Park. That film was like about 90 minutes long, right? And it is just a case study in, efficiency, in the special effects. They still hold up. In spectacle. Your A and B storylines, Perfect film. I can't critique it in any way, shape, or form. It is a near perfect film. Why? How are you going to top that? Why would you want to top that? And it's okay. Yeah, it made shit tons of money. I get it. It's a whole thing. But like, they've never been able to recapture the magic of the original. And to see talented people like Gareth Edwards, like David Cobb, like the cast, Rupert Friend, I love him. Scarlett Johansson, okay. Like Mahershala Ali in this. What are we doing? Crazy. So, just bad. Just, bad. And unnecessary. Just really, 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 really unnecessary. Yeah. Okay. Next. If you feel this is a slog to listen to, by the way, fuck me, this is a slog to get through because I'm just reliving terrible, terrible films. Let's go for Snow White. Now, okay. We all knew Gal Gadot couldn't act. Okay? I think we all kind of appreciated the fact that Gal Gadot could not act. And that there was, a weird, I guess, how would you say, acceptance of the fact that she couldn't act and stuff. But watching this I was like, how did you even get in the door? How did you, like, what the hell? I get she's very attractive and stuff. I get that. Ba-bong. I get that she's very attractive. But, I mean, like, how? Rachel Zegler. I think... I saw West Side Story. I thought it was brilliant. I thought she was fantastic in it. I hear Evita is great. I'm not a big musical guy. I believe she's going to be doing Phantom of the Opera. I will go to see that when it comes out. Everything about this is just so misguided. And, the fact that Mark Platt, the producer of this, tried to derail Rachel Zegler's career during this because she said "Free Palestine" on social media, and Gal Gadot was a former IDF soldier. Take all that, just take that away from them. Again, it's still a terrible, terrible film, and still just completely unnecessary. Just like, was anyone crying out for a live action Snow White? Be honest. No, of course they weren't. It was totally unnecessary. And not only that as well, but the original Snow White, the one that, was, God, I don't know, 60 minutes long or something like that. It's not long. It would nearly be classed as just short in today's terms, but it was a technical marvel and stuff like that. So the point I'm trying to make is that there wasn't enough of a story there in the first place for you to try adapt it out and make it into a whole thing. And even other, variations of Snow White. I'm talking about the one with fucking Morgan Fairchild in the 80s, or there was a horror story version of it, I think with Sigourney Weaver, again in the 90s and stuff like that. They've had to add on lots of stuff in order to kind of pad it out. Snow White, had all of the original songs. It had the money and power and talent attraction, whatever you want to call it, of Disney, and they still came up with this ball of shit. So, yeah. Moving on. The Alto Knights. Now, The Alto Knights, right, is a fascinating film because, first of all, why was Robert De Niro playing two roles in this? I just don't understand it. He was playing Vito Genovese and Frank Costello. Why did you cast Deborah fucking Messing as a mob wife when you also had Catherine Narducci, who played Charmaine Bucco in The Sopranos famously, in there as well. And then having Cosmo Jarvis in there as well. What the hell? And this was written by Nicholas Pileggi. Now, Nicholas Pileggi, if you don't know, is the guy who co-wrote Goodfellas and co-wrote Casino, and is kind of considered to be one of the greatest, crime writers of all time. Now, as I understand it, and I'm prepared to be corrected on this, Pileggi wrote this years ago, and they couldn't get together. I don't know why it didn't get made until now. It doesn't matter. Getting Barry Levinson to direct this was your first problem, because Barry Levinson, other than being responsible for Sam Levinson, who I think is the biggest, most overrated fucking hack of a writer-director working today, other than being responsible for him, he has also been responsible for some of the worst films I've seen in the last 20 years. Again, I don't know how these people still get... It's one of these things where it's how do people still keep giving them money? Because this cost about 40 million, and I just checked it there. This made 9 million worldwide. 40 million put into it, and that's production budget. Let's call it another 10 million for fucking print and advertising. So 50 million, and you're only getting back 9 million. Insane. So boring. So boring. It's that thing, and I hate using this, right, because I use it all the time. I've seen it before, and I've seen it done better. Much, much better. Robert De Niro himself has done this before, and done it so much better. Bad choices all around. There was even this bit, there's one bit now that sticks out of my head where it was it did this stupid fucking montage thing with newspapers. And then it froze in on a newspaper thing, and then it had a weird animated bit in it. And I was like, what is this? What are you doing? Just terrible. Awful. We come at last to the worst film of the year. Now, believe me when I tell you, this film, I mean, I don't know, right? I'll tell you a story. The film is War of the Worlds. It's on Prime Video. Stars Ice Cube. Okay? I've been thinking a lot lately about brain rot and TikTok and this idea of, because there was a study out recently that short form video content is now, and I'm paraphrasing this, and I obviously haven't checked the efficacy of the study and but I read it and I was like, yeah, I believe that. Essentially, short form video content, this highly processed video content, is as bad for your brain as smoking is. It is, reducing your cognitive abilities. It is reducing, it's just bad for you. Okay. But like highly processed food, it's very, easy to get in. It's easy to digest. It's easy. It just goes in there and it just kind of warps the back of your brain and turns it into mush. But you're kind of enjoying it as you're watching it. To wit, I once saw on TikTok, in my mindless scrolling of TikTok, that I'm beginning to really fucking hate, by the way. I'm really beginning to hate how much time I spend on TikTok. I know, it's just, maybe that's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to stop being on fucking social media because I'm bad at it anyway. I'm getting away from myself. I saw this TikTok, right? And on one half of it, it was Subway Riders, that, mobile game where you have to run and collect the coins and all the rest of it. And then down below was this compilation of Ice Cube's scenes from 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street. Him being his brilliant funny self. Like, I mean, talk about rocking up to a film and just taking over for 5-10 minutes. That's what Ice Cube does in 21 Jump Street. He's brilliant in it. He's so funny. Like the whole scene in the second one when he's working his way through the buffet and stuff. It's fucking hilarious. Like, it's so funny. Jesus Christ. I crack up every time I see it. Okay? So you have the weird visual stimuli of Subway servers, and then this hilarious thing underneath it, and then the whole thing had this kind of like weird filter on it that made it look kind of golden and stuff. And talk about being fixated, talk about just like vroom, going straight to your head, and just like it's like pure sugar, just vroom, going straight into your head, and you're just sitting there transfixed by it. All of that is to say, and this thing was like 3 minutes. I think I stared at it for like 3 minutes. Just, mouth agape, a little bit of drool, going, Idiocracy style. Do you know what I mean? That 3 minutes of hyper surveillance capitalism slop content was more enjoyable for me to experience, and more had more depth, had more commentary about the world, was smarter, was just a better experience, was better than War of the Worlds. I mean, It honestly, War of the Worlds honestly shocked me. I could not get over how blatant some of the things in it were. Like, there's a whole thing, an entire part of this film hinges on a drone delivery by Amazon. And this is an Amazon film. They are all over this. It's all over it. Like, it's just, it's a 60-minute, advertisement for the fucking for for Amazon. Like, I really was watching. I was like, I can't honestly believe we're living through this. Like, we've got there. It's finally here, you know? And like, you know, this isn't even a knock, by the way, about, you know, these screen life films they're called, where it's all set inside of a computer screen and stuff like that. I actually think they can be very, very smart. There was a film I saw. I'm trying to fucking remember the name of it now. Well, obviously there was Searching. I think Missing was the one. Oh God, I can't remember it now. But there was another one basically where it was kind of like it was like a thriller. Oh God, it's driving me mad. I have to look this up. I'm really, really sorry. Just talk amongst yourselves there for the minute. Where the fuck was it? Open window. Profile. Was it Profile? No, it wasn't Profile. Hold on. I'm getting there. I am getting there. Bear with me. This will be worth it. I swear to God, this will be worth it. Once I find it. Host, no. Face to face, no. Dashcam, no. Control? Was that it? No, it wasn't Control. God damn it. It was like Noah? No. Ratter? No. Wasn't Unfriended. Oh my God. This is driving me mad. Okay, look, I can't fucking find it. Host. Was it Host? No, it wasn't Host. Okay, but it was good. It was really, really good. It was basically this. It was like a thriller. And it was all about this journalist who had infiltrated like a terrorist organization and stuff. Fuck if I can remember the name of it now. My point being is that these screen life movies, they can be done very, very well. This is my point. I am not trying to knock the genre. I am not trying to knock the execution of it. What pissed me off so much about War of the Worlds, right, is that, first of all, the level of product placement in this was egregious. Secondly, Ice Cube, again, miscasting. It's not, he's Ice Cube. You know, you can't make him into a dorky computer analyst type of person. You just can't. I'm sorry. There's, in the same way we wouldn't expect, I mean, again, I'm not knocking Ice Cube, well, I guess I am, but like, he's not Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista is versatile. You can plug him into any movie and it will, if not get better, it will at least be enjoyable just seeing him being good in it. He just completely miscast. And then there's so many points in this film where I was like, oh my God, that's so stupid. Why are you doing that? And then they keep going and they commit to it. And again, I can't overstate how much it was like watching an ad for Amazon on fucking Amazon. I was like, what? Like, are sales that bad for Amazon that they need to fucking plug ads into movies? And maybe this was the whole thing. This was the only way they could get financing of it and stuff, was that, okay, we're just going to have to turn this into an ad to get Amazon to underwrite it. And even then, you know, you think back to like Arrested Development when they got Burger King to underwrite one of their episodes and stuff, or 30 Rock did it as well, and they just turned it into a joke. They made it the butt of the joke. And like, there was that great scene where it was like, I forget, maybe it was AT&T or Verizon or something, and you know, Jack Donaghy walks off and Liz is just left and she goes, oh, I love Verizon with their great minutes, and she's like, just rattles off the copy, and then she just turns to him and goes, okay, can we get our money now? And then just moves off. And then, like, even, you know, like, it's product placement can be done in films. I have a problem with it, sure. I think anyone would, but it can be made into something funny. It can be utilized. There is a way of bending it to make it funny. That's not the case here. This is just a fucking ad for Amazon Prime, the delivery service. Like, it's crazy. And again, I am not denying anyone making a buck. I deny nobody earning a crust, but Jesus, there's a fucking limit somewhere along the way. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, those are the worst movies of 2025. Please, please, please don't watch any of them. Take my word for it. I am talking about these and I am drained. Do you know what I mean? I am really drained from having to relive how shit all of these were. Don't make the mistake of watching any of these films. They're all terrible. Trust me on this. Please, please, like, leave them be. All right? Okay. That really took it out of me. I'm not going to lie. That really, really took it out of me to describe how shit these films were. Okay. Next week, we're on to better stuff. Great, great films out next week. Sentimental Value. Yeah, I'm still thinking about Sentimental Value. I saw it the other day. I saw Hamnet the other day as well. I had a big week. Fucking hell. I saw Hamnet and I saw Sentimental Value within 2 days of each other. And, yeah. Also, we're going to be talking about Marty Supreme next week as well. The hype machine that is Marty Supreme. I am so excited. Because I want to see if the hype, I want to see the hype. I want to see if the hype lives up. So, yeah, much better episode next week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking through this. And I will talk to you next week. All the best. Bye-bye.